Okay, so for this is the second video on the watch, and if you have a leash reactive or a dog reactive dog, I got this technique out of Karen London's book. It's called Feisty Fido. You can get it on Amazon. I always buy stuff through DogWise for WISE.com. It's a great resource for getting books on animal behavior and training. So once we start getting the dog looking up at us every time we say watch, and we can extend and keep its gaze, then what we want to do is find, and you can probably do this in your backyard, I would repeat the whole process outside in your backyard. Now, we don't want to do it when the neighbor dogs are out or other people are around at first, because just going outside is going to be a lot more intense. But now there's birds and sights and sounds, and if you can get him to watch you under that environment, then you're ready for the next step, which is to start applying it when you see other dogs. Now, what I'm usually looking for is a place where I have a limited field of vision. In a perfect world, we want to have everything in between my arms would be my field of vision, and then over here maybe there's some shrubs, and over here some trees or a building or something. So, and there's a path that's running along. So I'm facing the path. I find a distance where I can have my dog sitting in a sit and see the other people or dogs at a distance, and there's such a great distance he isn't considered a threat, so I can get him to stay sitting and let him nibble on a treat. Now, when I'm letting him nibble on the treat, well, actually, that's counter conditioning. Let me back up. Not nibble on the treat. But where they have a limited field of view, they're only going to see the person or the dog for about 10 or 15 steps. And we're probably 20, 40, 50 yards away, so that he doesn't perceive them as a threat. What you do is you have him on a leash, put him on either your left or right side. Let's say in this case he's on the left, and the people are going to appear over here. So what I'm doing is basically I'm watching and I'm stepping on the leash or holding the leash so he can't go anywhere, and I want him in a sit. As soon as the dog comes into sight over here, I transfer my field of vision down here and I'm watching the dog. Now, as soon as the dog sees the other dog, he's going to be like, and it's kind of, a variation of that. But you're going to see him immediately react and start staring and curling his lips. We don't want him barking. That's why we're going to keep on increasing the distance until we can see him and stare at him, but without freaking out. Once that's the case, then we're going to give him 1 second after he sees the dog. If he doesn't do anything, then we're going to say watch. He should sit down and look up at you because the other dog's far enough away he doesn't perceive it as a threat, and he's been conditioned by all the practice we did inside and in the backyard that he's going to get a treat. As soon as he does, you do the same thing. Watch. And you keep on doing that and at a distance until you get to the point where, and that's why every time that you see a dog, you wait about half second or a second before you say watch. Don't say it simultaneously. Because what we're looking for is him eventually, if you say it 1 second after consistently, after a while he's going to start associating the sight of a dog with the watch exercise, and he will see a dog, and he's going to see the dog and sit down and look up at you and expect to get that treat. Karen calls this the auto watch. When you get this, that should be like the highlight of your day. You should take like 5 or 6 treats and be like, watch, watch, watch. We want him to say just, what did I just do? Because I got a mother load of treats. That, if you've been doing this a while, that would be a good one to end on. And like I said, it should be the highlight of your day. Play with him afterwards. Make sure he knows that you're very pleased with him. The next day, practice that same distance. You're going to keep on practicing that until you're pretty much getting consistent auto watches all the time. And this might take 10, 15, 20 repetitions. Stick with it. Don't get discouraged. When you finally start getting the auto watch every time, then you're ready to start decreasing the distance between you and where the dogs appear. So for you guys, I would suggest you do it like on this side of your backyard. You can see as dogs are walking down the street. Maybe you have somebody in the front yard with a cell phone. Hey, somebody's coming from the right, from the left, and then you're ready for it. And you're going to gradually decrease the amount of feet between you and where these other dogs are, but only like 1 or 2 steps at a time. So you do 1 or 2 steps and keep on practicing it until you get the auto watch every time at that distance. Keep on collapsing the distance. Eventually you get to the point where you're right next to the sidewalk and he sees another dog and he's sitting down and looking up at you and getting the auto watch or getting the treat. So now we've conditioned 2 things. Number 1, if I see a dog and look up at you, I get a treat. And because it comes in conjunction with the dogs appearing, I equate treats with the appearance of these other dogs. And I like the treats. And because we did it in a gradual process and let the dog work at his own speed, we desensitized him. He no longer perceives it as a threat because we did it on a gradual basis, and he's able to sit there and watch the dogs walk by. So this is that's the conclusion of how you teach your dog to watch.